Chemo doesn't believe.
Let's have a look then. Let's see the evidence, sheeple.
Chemo's a retard who thinks space is fake.
Chemo also thinks something can't be proved more than 100%.
So let's take a look at these images of what Hubble have taken in space. Not CGI,
all over
by
Google,
the way.
mate. Blimey.
Jeez, which one do you
That's
want?
where the book stops, right? Is when you actually
search
ask
horse nebula, crab nebula.
No, actually, you know what we should use the deep field observation because it'll probably break his PC.
Not any artist impressions, no.
Not artist impression, fool.
The real deal. Do you have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you do, sheeple. Let's take a look at your telescope images then.
Sorry, dude. I'm not going to jump through the hoops for you.
Ah, because you don't have
No,
them.
you see, exactly.
Listen, dude.
Because Chemo can't be bothered to Google.
The globe side doesn't need you, Chemo.
Oh,
right?
No. We're not on the globe side. There is no
You're
globe
a clown.
side. Globe
You're a
side.
clown.
You need a globe to be on the globe side.
Oh, do you? You need to
We've got
explain
to
what causes the lunar eclipse. Shadow.
Let's talk about how we send the satellites and the telescopes into space.
Hello, he's
The
gone with
globe
the voice
is
again.
easily explained by the lunar eclipse.
He's a
that you
mental.
can't explain.
Oh, the lunar
Yeah, from my
eclipse.
perspective,
Well,
I see
we know
the
that the
sun going
lunar
below the
eclipse.
horizon, but people seem
We
to want
know
to tell me
that
it's
the,
disappearing from distance.
We know that the lunar
Drinking.
eclipse, the moon has its own light. That debunks any
Oh, we know
model
that. So that's a positive. That's a positive claim. Can you show
Let's
evidence
see
for that?
evidence for that, please. Yeah, let's see evidence for that.
Well, that's what the Most High tells us. Now, you're going to believe man or the Most High? Think about that.
Do you have evidence of the Most High?
Of course.
What did you just say?
Creation.
Evidence
Show
of the
me.
what?
The creation.
Show me. Bring it now. Timestamp. Video. Quick. Chop chop.
Quick.
The
Video.
creation.
So you're saying the lesser light, right? You're using the lesser light scripture.
Lesser light. You got it.
What
Hang
about
on, I'm
the
waiting for-
Islamic scripture where it says that the sun is a lamp and the moon is a mirror? How about that one? What are you going to do with that?
What? I mean, look, let's not get into all that because we've got friends, you know.
Well, then let's not get into it. Show us some more evidence that the moon is its own light source. Off you go.
Well, we've got
Except
it. I told you, I said the
when
Oh,
Bible.
you
you're on the moon.
can't. Oh, you
Oh,
can't.
exactly.
I'm
Oh.
going to show you a video.
Exactly.
I'm going to show
And
you.
if we're going to take that as an example, then we've got a problem because evident that the Most High has no power over iron chariots.
Now explain a crescent moon if the moon gives its own light. Because when you say the moon gives its own light, we know you're there. Now you're just joking. That is the most insincere thing you could have possibly
Don't
said.
mock the Most High. Anyway, this is a video of God's creation.
Hang on. Whoa.
Time lapse
Hang on.
4K.
Chemo,
Hey,
before we go
Amy.
any further, hang on. I need to get something clarified by you. Who is that is Most High? You or some form of deity?
Hold on a sec.
He's got to chase the dragon, hasn't he?
Probably.
Anytime.
Okay.
This is where
But,
Darth Hawkins would walk his dog.
Yes, so we know that the sun, not the
No,
sun,
Can you answer
sorry,
the question,
the
please?
moon.
No.
What question?
That's
Okay,
why
go
he
on,
went away
carry
so he
on.
could have a cap.
No, I need clarification. I don't know which Most on High he's talking of.
Okay.
No, he's not going to the. Remember, he's not going to the scripture. Don't let him get to the scripture because then he'll get lost in the. Well, that's just the way it is. Crap. You made a positive claim. Let's see some evidence for it.
Oh yeah. One sec. Yeah. Well, obviously we know, as I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, and probably again as well. But
Sure you
we
will.
have what we call night moon bows, night rainbows, lunar bows, lunar night bows. Yeah.
Please focus. We're talking about the lunar eclipse shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
I've
asking,
seen,
you're
I've
asking
seen
me how
rainbows
do you know?
reflected by reflections loads of times, Chemo. Don't pull that one.
You're asking me how do I know that the moon has its own light, right?
You need a picture of it?
No, you're like,
Are you there?
how do you know the moon has its own light? Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm saying to you, the way we know that the moon has its own light is because of the night bow. Cannot have a night bow with reflected light.
Yes, you can.
Right.
Demonstrate
So
it.
let's
Demonstrate
focus. Let's focus. Come on, focus. What causes
yeah,
the shadow in the lunar eclipse? I posted a picture of it.
Just told you it's not a shadow. It's the light on the moon dimming.
Dimming.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it loses
okay.
its light, and then obviously,
How? How is it
you
losing
don't know how
its
the
light?
sky works.
Well, you don't, clearly.
Nobody does.
How about, but even moon phases? How can you have a crescent moon on its own, and let alone the
That's a
shadow
very
of the
good
Earth on
question,
the
yeah.
moon? How does it have a crescent? How does half of it be dark and half of it be light? And as it rotates, what? It only gives light on half of the moon, and the other side is just not giving light. Do you know how stupid that is?
No, because we know that the sun is not giving the moon its light. Then?
Oh, you know that. Oh, you know that, but nobody else knows that. That's
Yeah.
special to you.
Yeah, the
and
reason
maybe
why we
Lenin.
know that is because we wasn't caught up in your indoctrination pattern. Yeah, we obviously broke.
Hang on.
through.
All right. Okay. You can claim ignorance, but you can't complain superior. You cannot claim superior knowledge.
Well, I mean, like, all we're just doing is going by what God says, right, in the Bible.
No, you can't. No, you
No.
can't.
Here's God,
No.
God's
God has
creation
n-
according to Genesis.
Hang on.
See?
Chemo. God has never spoken.
Well, he says, "Let there be light," and there was light.
Did
Wait
he?
a minute,
Did he
wait a minute.
actually physically say that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know that?
Wait a minute.
You can't
The
say that
Bible-
God's never spoken. You're not every person. But let's not go to the scripture, Chemo. I'm not going to let you go there if you're not going to allow me to cross-reference your scripture with scripture. That's unfair, so let's leave it out. Get back to your positive claim. There must be some type of paper or study done on this to show that you were right and that the moon somehow powers itself down for some reason at the same time that the Earth just happens to be lined up with the sun.
No, remember,
And the moon.
again, you can't get out of this because you need your geometric horizon for the sun and the moon to actually go down. You think the sun...
Oh, careful
You
now,
think-
Chemo.
you
You've got one
think-
of the 3 surveyors
you
that
think-
measured the
You think the sun is
radius.
You think the sun is going down beyond the geometric horizon, okay? What we're here to tell
No.
you, because of the black swan...
Ah, look at you running from the lunar eclipse shadow. Look
I'm trying
at
to
you.
explain to you that it's not
You're
a
now
shadow.
bringing up the sun and the horizon.
Yes, because you think the sun and the moon are lined up, yeah? But I'm
I
trying to
know
explain...
they are.
No, the sun can't go down like that. It doesn't go
But hang
down
on.
like that. See?
Not about down, dickhead.
Wait,
So
Sheeple,
explain it
wait.
then, Spurs. If it doesn't do
Yeah.
that, what does it do?
The sun stays...
How does it do it?
The sun always stays above the earth, always.
Then
Otherwise,
Yeah, so how do we
like
get an
dark.
eclipse, mate? How does the eclipse work then?
So the
Yeah,
eclipse
shadow.
works, but the moon has its own light, right?
Yes.
No.
We've established that. So how's that work?
So as the darker area starts to show,
What?
that's
How
the
does that eclipse
moon.
the sun?
That's the moon. No, I'm just guessing here now. I think it's to do with
Oh.
some kind of regeneration. It has to
The moon got-
recharge. or
Well, the
something.
moon got shadowed, and there was no
Not
sun
a shadow.
out.
Not a shadow.
There's no sun out,
Not a shadow.
and the moon got shadowed. It's not a shadow.
No.
Where's your evidence for that? Can you post it and timestamp it for us, please?
We've got moon bows that prove the moon makes its own light.
You can make
It's a
a
moon
rainbow
bow.
reflection.
Keep saying
Yeah.
that. Where's your demonstration?
That's not the
Yeah,
shadow.
where is your
Chemo.
demonstration?
Oh, of a moon bow? Yeah, I'll get you one. No worries.
Ah,
from
you're
moon
letting
bow.
him get away.
Not
No,
off a moon bow.
No, where
Off
is
it not
was?
being a shadow.
I saw you at was. don't
Not a
worry.
shadow, you said.
Don't
Not a
worry,
shadow,
was.
you
I've
said.
got you, I've got you.
Watch. This is his way to get away from it.
Well, it was
This
once
is like
to know
not
about
after
classic.
moon bows, and that was out.
Yeah.
Not after
Yeah.
a moon bow.
I don't mind how
Can't you
that
hear me?
was when he asked for the right information at the right
I'm
time.
not after a moon bow.
So this is how we know was the moon makes its own light, creates its own light. Because check this out, was like this. Get it up for you.
Unfortunately, Chemo, a certain Google search will render your bullshit.
Show.
It doesn't matter what they
What?
say. The idea is, can it be replicated? Yeah, and we cannot replicate a moon bow with reflected light.
We're talking
What are
about
these-
a lunar
what are these-
eclipse.
What are these
Fucking hell.
white?
Just told you
white-
about lunar eclipse. It
white
has its
text.
own light, and the light dims. Duh.
What's this white text about? And arrows pointing all over your picture.
Oh, you want one without the text? Yeah, okay.
It's a picture, Spurs, with someone's
Okay, look at
writing
this.
on it.
Explain the time lapse I put up. Explain that. So now the moon dims, but in a pattern which also makes an arc. So the moon has some very sophisticated mechanism that causes just portions of it to dim.
Tell me about it. Yeah.
Look. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It just happens to make a 3,960-mile radius arc on the fucking moon, you stupid,
Tell me
you
about-
twit. You can claim
you think you're on a
ignorance.
ball.
You said you're just guessing.
Yeah,
and
just
you don't
that bit is speculation.
You said you're speculating, so you can claim ignorance. We'll give you that, but you can't claim superior knowledge.
But sorry, Larry. I've got a problem with Chemo and his moon bow bullshit here. Is
But
the
shadow,
rainbow?
not the moonbow.
Yeah. Hang on. Sorry. The rainbow's on Earth, you dickhead.
Oh my god!
Has he gone to the kitchen?
Does he think that rainbow is somehow like on the moon?
No, he thinks it's caused from the moon.
He tried this evasion tactic the other day.
Larry.
The plan was to not let him get away from it.
Yeah, he calls them moon bows. It's a rainbow. It's caused by water going through light.
So it's about
Yeah.
the shadow. How does the shadow work then, Spurs? If it's not a shadow, what is it? I'll wait till you get your cup of tea.
Yeah. The moon has not just its own light, but its own mechanism for very, very specific geometric dimming. And only half of the moon, because it does have moon phases. So the moon just must get tired. You know, that's what it is. The moon gets tired. And it needs to take a break and then be dark sometimes and then not dark sometimes. You know, the moon must have quite a bit of mechanism. Oh, that is if it's really a moon, because some people think it's a projection. And you know, I got another question for Chemo. Where the fuck is Mercury and Venus, and how did they get between the Earth and Moon? And we can see Venus's entire orbit around the sun, and it's between the Earth and Moon. We've seen it go in front of the moon just quite recently in the past couple decades. And Mercury, just a couple of years ago. Yeah, we see that kind of crap all the time. But oh, wait a minute. Oh, we don't know what they are. They're just little points of light. Yeah, although when Venus is orbiting the sun, we can see it go through crescent phases just like the moon. Wow, imagine that. So you're claiming superior knowledge, not just ignorance. I claim you got ignorance.
He's very ignorant.
You meant to say the sun, the Earth, and Mercury and Venus, not between the moon and that Earth, surely.
He said
Notice,
between the
Larry,
moon
you've
and...
got a lot to say now, but when we brought Witsit in to tackle your surveying, you went awfully quiet.
Witsit runs away.
Witsit was awfully stupid when it's showing a very coherent mathematical solution to refraction, and we're dealing with observations from 100,000 feet away to an object 1,600 feet higher, and a consistency of plus or minus 2 feet. And he had the fucking stupidity to say, oh, look, it's all over the place. By percentage, that was paper thin precision. So if he's that foolish with arithmetic, yeah, I might as well go quiet, because he's not worth engaging. He just says no reasons, because he's beyond ignorant. He's hostile ignorant. because for some reason he says, "Oh yeah, prove it to me. I'll go out and measure it." Oh, I didn't see you measure it. Oh, it's like, well, now show me your, what did you do with that? Because I calculated the same way they did with Mount Everest, the same way they did in 1850 to Mount Everest, the same way. And for some reason, the Mount Everest survey is okay when they do it, not okay when I do it. And I replicate a 100-year-old textbook with my own analog instruments, my own data, not a cut and paste, not a Google search, not a YouTube reference, my measurement with my equipment. And I calculated it primarily longhand, and I plotted it in Excel. And he had plotted in Excel, and he had the nerve to say, "Oh, this is all presupposition." Although we have eclipses, tides, South Pole, we have everything that comports with it. And I measured the radius of the Earth last year, and everybody hated that. So now I have my measurements of the radius of the Earth. I have my measurements of refraction. I have my measurements across a 600 square mile portion of the Shenandoah Valley to a singular point with a plus or minus couple of feet. And he's saying, "Oh, that's all ridiculous." Although all you guys bring up is other YouTube videos, cut and paste, a P900 photo, and even when you asked me a question, I gave you you asked me a question and I gave you an answer, and the first thing you do is you come back and quote only half of the sentence. So yeah, why not go quiet? There's no point.
Yeah, I was trying to clear up. I mean, again, it's very, very new to me that someone's actually measured the curvature. So when you were trying to explain it, trying to figure out how you've done it. So brought Witsit in and basically ran away, Larry. I mean, why would you do that?
Oh, I engaged him for a while. I didn't just stop. Yeah, I engaged him for a while until I found that there was no point.
No, what happened was you let other people help you and save you.
He only says presupposition, 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 as if predetermination and working in collaboration with others is not possible. And you think my measurements suck because I believe in gravity. Oh, because
I can't accept if you're going to invoke gravity that hasn't been tested and experimented on. And basically, Witsit told you what I was telling you. It's based. You were like the planet. So you've already presupposed the planet. Okay.
No, that's predetermined. That's been established. That has been established.
Larry, look, I know it's hard. All right, but again,
Chemo. You know what's very hard is for you to wake up to the fact that you cannot just presuppose the South Pole does not exist, given that 40,000 people come and go there every fucking year.
Where do you get this information from, Larry? Who's telling you all of this? You've been
the cruise ships that come and go from there. You could drop a credit card and go yourself.
Larry, who's telling you can do this?
Chemo, you've got to take Witsit in hand, man. You've got to have a little pep talk with him.
Misinformation is what I'm telling you. All of these are things that you think you can do are not actually possible in the real world. Okay?
Well, you can't get on a Carnival cruise line and go to McMurdo Bay.
No, I'm talking about when you're trying to prove the Earth, the shape of the Earth.
Oh, the South Pole exists, so we're done with shape.
How can there be a South Pole if the Earth's flat?
That's my point.
So alright, show me this. Well, there's no point showing me because you're not going to be able to show a full expedition to the South Pole. Okay, so the only way we can think that the South Pole is distance if we have 3 observers from the South Pole looking at the celestial star in the south. Like that.
Yeah, they've been working on this for hundreds and hundreds of years, dude.
No, this is just an argument from incredulity. You just can't believe that there's not a South Pole, and you just believe...
Argument from historicity, Chemo.
Just believe what others have told you without actually checking it out for yourself, Larry. That's the problem here. See?
Okay, did you check out the ice wall? Did you check out the dome yourself?
No.
No, you didn't. And when you stand upright and when you use a carpenter's level, you're relying on gravity, but you didn't test it.
Well,
You
let's
just-
think about those two questions you just asked. Dome would tell us that we live in gas pressure, and wall means the water's contained. Two logical suggestions that anyone would accept. If you believe
The greatest test,
pressure,
the greatest test of gravity is the orbit of the fucking moon. You idiot! The
no,
South Pole.
Instead of going
the
there to
South
more
Pole-
philosophy and poetry, let's look at your two claims.
You can first principles. The South Pole exists. The shape is confirmed.
Let's look at your
Eclipses
two
occur.
claims,
Shape
Larry.
is confirmed.
See, Larry,
Eclipses
this is what I
exist.
mean. You're spiraling now.
Well, that's what I mean. Is you're just being absolutely like an 8-year-old, obstinate, illogic, reality denier. And when I go out there with my equipment, I go out there with my equipment, and I make a measurement, and all you do is pull up a fucking photograph from a beach.
Yeah,
that you
those
didn't even
measurements are based on the presupposition that the Earth is already a
No,
ball.
no. The numbers return the curve. And now I measured over a 600 square mile area to a common point. What? Okay, no. You see, this is
I don't know
why
why you
there's
didn't say
no
this when
reason to
Whitson was
engage
here.
with Whitson or you.
You didn't say any of
Now-
this when Whitson was here.
Okay, now just come back. No, I went through all of this with Whitson when he was here. Now, back to your stupid claim that the moon generates its own light and
Yes.
has this sporadic causing of dimming. You fucking idiot.
Well, we know it's not a shadow, Larry. That's begging the question.
Come up with some evidence, Chemo,
That's
that our
presupposing
presuppositions
that
are
the
incorrect.
Earth has curves.
How do you know it's not a shadow? You still haven't answered that.
Because we know the sun and the moon do not go below the horizon.
No, we
How do you
the
know it's not a
opposite of
shadow?
that. We know exactly the opposite of that by physical observation by every fucking person on the planet.
No, Whitson's. But we know.
Yeah, you've got to
the s-
get Whitsitt in hand, Chemo. You know, you've got to do some schooling there. Give him a pep talk. He just doesn't have your stamina.
Well, if
You've
you
got to do
notice,
something with
it's
him.
not actually his fault. You know, he'll come in and ask a couple of questions, and then he'll get 5-6 people jumping all over him. You know. I think what he
Mate.
does do, though, is that when I do the same thing as well, we get excited when, like, I'll say exactly, right? But he'll start laughing instead of saying exactly. So that's probably what you don't like. The fact that he'll start laughing at you, like, ha ha ha, you don't know, you see? And I'll just be like, exactly. So I could laugh, and he could say exactly, but that wouldn't
That's
be
why
me, that wouldn't be him, right? So he's going to probably laugh when you... So when he asks Larry something, and Larry's like, well, it's a presupposition, he's going to go, ha 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 ha. I would have said, exactly, Larry, exactly. See?
That's why you have to
So-
give him... Hold on, Chemo. That's why you have to have a little talk with him, little pep talk, because you maintain an orderly chat room, but he just pushes it into total disorder. So if we want to get anywhere, you know, you really need to have a little word with him, Chemo.
No,
Wait
I'm
a
just
minute.
saying that, like, I think that's probably just about all he does is gets excited, just as I just told you, just as I do. When we ask a question, can't answer it, you make up a story, I would get excited. I'd be like, exactly. He would just laugh. You know how he'd do his laugh, and he would laugh, and that's probably you don't like that. But I laugh when
But you made up the story that the sun does not set due to rotation of Earth. You think it orbits or circles overhead. That's a purely fabricated, unobserved phenomena that is without any defense, support, observation, or measurement. So
Yeah.
so that's why we laugh at you, and you can claim ignorance and we'd forgive you, but you cannot claim superior knowledge.
No. The reason why we know that the sun does not set as you imagine, the horizon is not physical. Huh?
You see, and that is the fabrication which puts you in a loony bin.
All right. So where is your physical geometric horizon?
It's the shape of the Earth. The South
Oh,
Pole
for
exists.
goodness
We got
sakes. Post
shaped
one
on.
picture where we can see the physical geometric edge.
Well, we don't live in a vacuum, so that's not available.
Exactly. We would never ever
Yeah,
see.
exactly. That's okay. And
Welcome
is
to
there
flat
any-
Earth.
Yeah. Well, has anybody ever used the horizon for precision measurement of the shape of the Earth?
No, they
No,
use it
not
to-
even a carpenter. Not even a carpenter. Nobody uses the horizon because we know it is not a precisely available line of reference due to optical effect of atmosphere. Yeah, we know that. That gives us the superior knowledge to use the fucking stars and the existence of the South Pole to measure the Earth. Exactly.
No. You got it wrong there, my good friend. Now look.
Yes. He's got it right, Chemo.
No.
Why do you keep hand waving it away?
We're explaining to him because of the black swan.
No,
there
you're
is no
not.
What I mean, I don't think you understand the meaning behind the black swan. What it means is that beyond the horizon line, the Earth does not drop away. It just continues.
No, you know what it means? You know what it means? What the black swan is a great demonstration of the optical effects of atmosphere, and the conflicting photographs of the black swan oil platform demonstrate that photographs are not a source of information about the precise dimension of the planet. It's a study of refraction.
Wait a minute.
It's so noisy and so contradictory that is not used in the geodetic measuring of the planet, South Pole, which has been measured. Now, Chemo, you're telling me,
dude. Hey, dude.
Right,
hey,
let him finish.
There's other people wanting to talk.
You're telling me that the Ordnance Survey UK is stupid, that the Ordnance Survey of Australia is stupid. Is that what you're telling me? Or you're saying that all of academia is just lying, and you have the superior knowledge
Come on,
to see
man.
through their lies?
What's wrong? He's on your side.
No, he's doing.
How is the black swan evidence that the Earth does not fall away or curve away after the horizon when you have other pictures where it's not so refracted, where you don't see beyond the horizon that far, and that would tell you that it is curving away? What do you think is actually going on there? If the Earth is not curving away, why does sometimes it looks like it does, and then, or usually looks like it does, and rarely looks like the black swan?
Yes, quite. So this is what I'm trying to explain to our friend here, Larry, that the horizon
If the Earth does not curve away, why does it usually curve away and not look like the black swan?
No, it doesn't curve away. It gives the illusion of distance bottom first. But we know because of Ranty and whatnot, things compress.
No, Chemo. You can't take the anomaly and say this is the norm. We know the Earth does not curve away, and it still is just less curving away. Your logic is extremely flawed here, Chemo, and I'm done being logical with you. Now, Chemo, what do you think is the best way to reason with a delusional mad cunt? Can you explain it to the people?
Well, being as I deal with them every day, I think you just need that bit of patience, dedication, focus, and basically, just take your time with these people.
Oh, you got the wrong impression here, Chemo.
What?
In this scenario, you're the delusional mad cunt. How would people best reason with you in your state?
Same way I deal with delusional mad beep, is be patient, like I just said, and just take your time with them, try to understand what's going on, and you'll figure something out.
It's true, you do talk to yourself a bit.
Well, I mean, if there's an audience that requires information, happy to oblige and give them what they need.
Chemo, you know the audience that's normally listening to you is the same audience that's in here?
No. Gem gets unique viewers every single up to 10,000. Unique.
Dude.
Unique.
No.
Yes.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. No, Chemo, you're not understanding what I'm saying now, at this point in time, when you're talking of the audience. Most of the people that are watching are people that are already fucking in here.
No. Like I said,
So
they
you are
unique.
talking to yourself.
No, of course not. There are unique viewers every week.
Are they?
What does that mean?
It means that the numbers are rising. People are interested, and
if
this
I-
obviously is the place. Simon Dan's going to shout out the place. He said that should be more.
Chemo, if I put this live stream up on 10 different tabs and they're all playing, they all become a view, right?
No.
Yeah,
Spurs,
they do.
Can you fix your mic, Spurs? It keeps making a clicking sound.
Does it?
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
Gom actually. Sorry.
We might need to remove his ability to enunciate the "k" sound. Is that all right with you, Emo?
What? Okay, so let's move forward.
Nice.
Larry.
No, you just did it. You did it again. It's
Did what?
just O. OA, but not okay.
Right.
Well, you're doing that deliberately to be annoying because you're a delusional mad cunt, and you need to knock that off, or else we're going to lose out on potential unique viewers in the future.
Doing what? What is being done?
You.
Yes, obviously information that I gather, I can display for all to see, especially, like I say, the wider audience. 10,000 unique viewers a week.
You bastard.
Ah, that click was. I thought you were a real click.
I was about to mute you. I was really about to mute you.
So look, yeah, I recommend you watch David Weiss with the father and son. The father, you should be able to relate to this father, a lot of you guys, and he was just in complete shock that he's not on a ball anymore. He was like, I've wasted my entire life, which is what we tell you. Yes, you've wasted your life. And I feel sorry for people like Chronic, been dedicated to figuring out space, universe, only to realize under a dome or whatever. I mean, that's going to be the question, right? In the future, when you guys figure out, the board, you're going to say, well, what was he looking at then?
Right, I want to hold you to this point now, Chemo. Dome, right?
What?
Now, you presuppose it because of containment of pressure. Do you have evidence that there is this containment of pressure?
Oh, no. Like I said, for me, it's not a container like that. There's something up there. Maybe it's another medium. Yes, another medium. But that's
okay,
not...
so that's a positive. That's a positive claim. Now, do you have evidence that there's another medium up there?
Maybe.
It's still positive, dude.
Perhaps. So, look, all
So
we're
now you're
doing,
saying there's no dome.
The snow dome.
No, you're now saying there is no dome.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, it depends what you mean by dome, right?
Well, you're the one who claimed there is one.
The
If
pressure
there is a
gradient of
dome, it's way too high to create any pressure inside the enclosed system.
How do you know that?
the
Because we're
pressure
not-
gradient. The pressure gradient of the atmosphere is a great test of gravity. It's gravity demonstrated. Look at that, huh?
Yeah, but in order for gravity to be real, you need Cavendish in a vacuum. You have it?
No. Hang on, Larry. Get away from gravity. Gravity sucks. Right? Now, I want to talk about this supposed barrier that's between the atmosphere and whatever's outside of the barrier.
Yeah.
What is it, Chemo? What's
Probably
outside
water.
of it?
I would say water, but again, it's difficult to speculate.
So you don't know that?
No. Nobody does. It's the Tower of Babel.
No.
You've tried
This
to
one's
go up
actually
there.
about you now.
Yeah. Since the days of Babel,
So
they've
there's
tried
no
to get
dome, and you don't know if there's water outside of whatever barrier
Well, I'm
you
only
don't
going
know.
by what the Bible says, you know, and obviously God knows a little bit more than us. So,
Oh no. Okay, so can we bring in the other scriptures then?
what you want to? Let's not get into
Can we
the
bring?
religious war.
Can we bring
you
in the
know?
Torah?
Yeah, but let's not get into the religious war. You know.
Why you did it? You started this.
I'm just saying, the God of the Bible explains to you what it looks like. and
Okay,
how it
so you're
is.
bringing in the God of the Bible. Which part? The New Testament or the Old Testament? I need clarification.
Start from the beginning.
Oh, so you want Old Testament God?
But like I say, that's how we know what we know. No one's been up there, so that's the only
But
way
hang
we
on,
can know.
there is
yeah?
there is nothing in the Old Testament that says there is no space.
Yeah, but it says about a firmament there, right?
No, answer the
And
stick
it
to
says
the
it's spread
question.
out like a tent or something like that, right?
Stick to the question.
I've just told you.
Nowhere in the Old Testament does it say there's no space.
No, space is what we made up the vacuum.
No. Stick to the question.
Yeah, we made up the term space like a vacuum of space.
Actually, no, we didn't. You'll actually find that's actually referenced in the Bible a couple of times.
Where? Verse. Post the verse.
Oh, obviously you haven't read it then.
Not your version, no. Give us a look where it says that.
What do you mean where it says that? I asked you if the Bible said there was
Yeah,
no
I'm asking
space,
about
and you
your
said it
version
did.
of the Bible. Let's have a look
No,
where
no,
it
no,
says
no,
that.
no. This is on you. You had the positive claim.
Yeah, but you haven't read my version of the Bible, have you?
Which version have you got? King
about me.
James, New International?
Not about me.
How can you
Why'd
say
you bring
he's
it up?
not read the version you've read if you won't tell him what version you've read?
It's not about me.
Why'd you bring it up?
Yeah, why did you mention it then?
I just said in the Bible it says there's a firmament.
Which
No,
one?
Your version.
Not about me though.
Well, then don't bring that up.
Then
You're
don't
the
ask
kind of
about
guy
the
that
firmament then.
needs
I
the
didn't-
Doc Martin treatment.
Yeah.
I didn't say firmament. I said barrier, which is what you inferred.
Oh yeah, but that's the different barrier. I'll get you that verse. Circle the barrier around the circle, I think, something like that. You know.
How do you encircle a barrier around a circle?
Oh no, that's what I was like. Let me get the right verse for you.
You know how many different versions of the Bible there are, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to talk about the one that the Germans had to get changed? Would you like to know about that one?
So, dude, just totally wait a minute. Okay, it's got a few versions, fewer verses on.
So have you found the right cherry?
Not yet. Still pick. Put me on the spot.
Yes,
Yeah,
super
but-
sexy username. That is correct. It is choose your own adventure across all versions of the Bible.
Oh, just as well.
But of course, the one that Chemo read is obviously right because of reasons.
I don't think it's reasons. I think it's because of treason.
Ah.
What do you mean?
Yes.
The fact that
You're happy to stick to your version of not reality that you wish to, but the rest of us will stick to the actual reality by actually looking at reality and measuring reality. And I don't think people like Chronic have any issues, have any fear from you trying to dispel their, undermine their work, because they know that they're dealing with reality and you're clearly not. You're just delusional, and you're just arguing about which version of delusion you want to.
Yeah, let's not get into scripture. Let's get into the evidence for the shape of the
let's not get into reality. Is that what you're saying, Chemo? Let's just ignore reality and make shit up.
Well, let's get a real reality evidence for death.
But you mentioned the Bible.
Yeah, that's faith-based.
So it's not reality.
Not your reality.
Anybody's reality. How many realities are there? This is the problem, you see, Chemo. You seem to think there are lots of realities and you can choose one. We don't believe that. I mean, you're happy, fine. If that's what you want to believe, fine. But the chronics and the rocket scientists of this world, and who's the other guy that are doing actual research on reality? Funnily enough, nothing you say affects anything they do.
Oh, well, again, we're not trying to affect what they do. I mean, they will always...
Then what are you doing?
Is raise
so that sounds like an argument for being pointless.
To be fair, that guy Gold Steel is kind of shady.
No, all we're doing is showing the young people that the Earth's not a globe and space is fake.
You're showing them not reality, yeah, okay.
No, there is no space, Basil. You cannot have a vacuum without a container.
Yeah, we know you don't. We know you don't understand reality, and therefore can't explain it to the young people. But you need to understand that you're talking about not reality.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can have a vacuum without a container.
No, it's fine that you don't understand it, but you need to just sort of not bang on about it quite so much.
Well, that's the point. The young people also don't understand it.
And they will certainly will understand it even worse listening to people like you. So why don't you just let the people who do understand reality teach the young people?
Well, go on then. Let's hear you explain it now.
Oh, I don't claim to be any kind of teacher. I mean, I'm just an ordinary Joe that had a job.
So how do you know then that you've been told the truth?
How do you know you've been told the truth?
Because we tried to test a vacuum without the container and failed.
You didn't though, did you? Again, you're talking about some delusion that you have, not reality. You didn't do anything in reality.
One also tried to have gas pressure without the container and failed.
Again, you references to things that don't exist, not reality.
Well, how do you
Try
have
and
gas
bring yourself down
and
to
pressure
reality
without the container?
It's a mute question because it doesn't need to be explained because it doesn't exist anywhere.
So the atmosphere is under pressure. Where does that pressure come from? Not a container.
Look, I know you don't get this, and you've been through it thousands of times and still don't get it. That's fine. That's fine. But the young people will see through your delusion and turn to reality every time.
Are you going to tell them it's a dome?
Well, that's your nonsense, isn't it? That's your delusion.
What would you tell the next generation about the atmosphere and the pressure? Where does it come from?
Well, like I say, I'm no kind of teacher, so I wouldn't really like to. I know what the teachers would say, real teachers that are in real schools, and not delusional, not some delusional chat channel that exists in some corner of Discord that hardly anybody is audiencing.
What would the teachers say in school?
Mostly they would be implying things like open your eyes, test things by sensible methods, and don't listen to extreme delusionists on funny channels like Discord.
So they would say, check for what?
Well, I don't know, because it's not about this channel's not about what teachers would do, is it?
No, it's about what holds the gas from going into space.
And what does hold the gas from going into space? And
all the atmosphere should fly off in space. Why hasn't it?
Why?
Gravity.
Exactly. Why?
Gravity.
Thanks, Larry. We know that. You didn't need to say it.
No, gravity, Larry. Yes.
Shit falls on your head. It fucking hurts.
Where's the experiment,
accelerated.
Larry? Larry's gone.
Hold on.
You see, this is
For a moment,
another
let's
one
just
bites
say
the
that
dust.
somehow gravity is incorrect. There's something wrong about gravity. And the flat earthers are correct. And it's relative density, disequilibrium, yada, yada, yada. There's your answer for you, Chemo. For your reality, that explains it. There is no pressure increasing towards space away from the Earth. There is no need for a dome, a container. You have all that is necessary for the atmosphere to stay around the Earth. Good morning.
Well, incorrect. You have no science. Just
how dare you? Don't you ever say I'm incorrect.
Look, that was jibbity juke. Okay, there's no science to back up what you've just said.
You don't need science for this. This is simple common sense logic that you guys like to use, Chemo.
Without
Chemo, you guys have got to quit using self-defeating arguments.
Well, then demonstrate then gas pressure without the container.
Hey, man.
There's no. It's all around you.
Gas pressure without a container. Demonstrate it. Yeah.
It's all around you.
We have a pressure gradient.
Yeah, that's the observation.
Set off a helium
now
balloon.
Science it.
How do weather balloons rise, Chemo?
Yeah, observation. Now science it.
We don't need science.
Oh, you don't
You
need
don't
science. You
need
need to guess
science
your
for this,
religion.
Chemo.
Pseudo-science
Ooh,
religion
Chemo's-
audience, you hear that? They don't need science. They just
Hang
need
on.
to
Hey,
guess
whoa, Oakley.
with no test.
Calm your fucking farm. Don't you
He's
dare go
getting
down his
triggered.
route, Chemo.
Well,
He got
he
owned.
actually curved.
He's
How do we have the
embarrassed.
gas pressure
Now he's
without the
triggered.
container? And now he's lost. Another one.
Try and
bites the
remain
dust.
calm, Chemo. Try and
Another
remain
one
calm.
bites the dust.
Right, Chemo. I want to get back to your domified positive claim that you made. Right.
So,
Why is it that in the international version of the Bible it's called an expanse? It's only in the KJV and other stupid ones that were rewritten from that one that say firmament.
because the author's supposed to write that, yeah?
But why is
And
it that?
And that's how reality works, is it? Someone chooses what reality is. I mean, that's just so delusional, Chemo. How on earth can you justify choosing from any of those sources? Why don't you just stick to
That's how the
reality?
heliocentric model works. You just guess and then write it down. No
You
experiments.
know that's not true.
Well, if that's not true,
But
where's your evidence for gravity? Your scientific experiment for
Hey,
gravity?
no. Get the fuck back to the dome. Stop avoiding that.
The dome is just what's in the Bible. That's what we.
Okay,
It's not
so
reality, yeah, it's just
Hang on.
just so story.
bizarre. I
Yeah,
actually
but
went and
it's
found
not
the
just a
Hebrew
story,
definition.
because it turns out there is a dome or firmament, or we can't escape
Ke-
Earth's atmosphere,
Chemo.
basically.
What was the Hebrew word that was used?
So let's not get into. There's a religious room if you want to go down there, Davros.
No.
Nuggets.
You're using this as a fucking science book right now.
So we go into the religious room.
No, you're using this as a science book. This isn't religion. This is
No,
about a
we're
word.
talking about
Particular word.
gravity. What keeps the atmosphere on the Earth without going into space?
Actually, no. I'm not talking about gravity. I was talking about your
Yeah,
dome
you're talking about
that you
religion.
asserted, that you presupposed.
We can talk about religion in the religion room. Not a problem.
That's correct. We could talk about delusions in other rooms, but this is the room where we should be sticking to reality, and the reality is there is no dome.
Right, so we need to explain what gravity is, right?
No.
Well,
No, it's
Newton did
Gravity is a
everything.
made-up concept which explains how the water stays on the Earth without falling off.
So you
And
just
what's the dome
denying-
doing?
You're just denying reality
The
again. there,
firmament
because
is just
Newton
a divide between
Newton
this world
and
and the
others-
other world.
and others studied the reality of gravity, quantified it, experimented on
False,
it,
Bazaar.
derived from rules. No, anybody can do this. I've done this.
No, you haven't. That's
Most
false.
people. Yes, I did. In
Gravity
reality,
is not a force, is it?
I measured gravity. I
The
measured
force,
the force
Bazaar.
of gravity. I measured the force of gravity.
Current science says gravity is not a force. So you're lying to the audience, Bazaar.
Current
That's
science.
kinda wrong.
Current science says
I'm
gravitation.
not attacking you, Bazaar,
is a-
but the current science says it's bending off space-time, not the force of mass attracting matter.
Newton didn't go into
It
the
is,
cause.
but
Newton didn't go into the cause of gravity. All he did was quantify what we observe as gravity.
Yeah, but
And
when you
current-
try
yeah,
to
current
merge the
science-
two together, you just sound ridiculous.
No,
And
current science accepts gravitation. Gravitation is a very real effect in nature that we exist in and live in, and explains orbit of the moon and explains the gradient of the atmosphere. Because even if you have a dome, as we go up in elevation, it gets so low that right next to the dome is zero pressure, not meaning we don't need a dome.
And again, we're fighting over a word that he accepts in meaning. He just doesn't want to pronounce it that way. He wants to call it by another term. He's already conceded that the atmosphere and water will stick to the surface of the earth, so to speak, the way that they talk. He's already lost. Why do we keep arguing with this?
All right, silence.
Man of kindness,
What we're trying to figure out is this force keeping the atmosphere on the Earth. Now, obviously, we know
we've already figured it out, Chemo.
you
What
have
do you
a
want to
couple
know?
of options. The atmosphere has no
current
pressure.
science says the world's a globe, Chemo.
Look, Chemo, bottom line, if not, any other explanation you give is going to have the same outcome. So what's the point?
Because unless we get an experiment, you're talking nonsense and
I
poetry.
think you need a cup of tea, mate. I think you better go get a cuppa.
No, what we need is evidence for this magical force that holds the atmosphere to the Earth.
What, relative disequilibrium?
No, it's supposed to be...
One way or another, it's there. And whatever it is, magic, unexplained, voodoo, woo, it produces the pressure gradient in the atmosphere. This is observed. This is reality. You can't deny.
Not denying, you're just making things up. Pressure
What you're trying to, aren't you? You're trying to say the cause of something is unknown, therefore the something doesn't exist. Well, that's clearly nonsense. No, it's nonsense, because we observe the reality of the gradient.
No, you don't.
We don't understand what is the underlying cause of it. Fair enough. We don't need to know the underlying cause of it to understand and be able to measure and quantify in quite exquisite detail the actual real world atmospheric gradient.
That's not real world. We always know the cause to the effect.
Real world.
We put it to one
side. How can you say people who have gone out with the proper instruments and done the proper observations, and then other people have also done the same and confirmed it, all this mass of measurements of reality have shown that there is a decreasing pressure gradient with height?
Pressure requires a force.
Yeah, maybe so, but that does not dispel all those observations. You seem to be out struggling with this idea.
I'm not. If you're saying I'm going with your claim. Okay, there's pressure. Where does that pressure come from? If you know there is pressure,
from the force of gravity.
Okay, so where's the experiment to back up gravity?
You don't need, again, an experiment, or the lack of an experiment, doesn't dispel the reality of a decreasing pressure gradient.
Yeah, it just means you're making things up.
Not making observations up, no. These are real-world experiments done by real people. And it's something that you can do if you were to choose. You really are trying to say, if we don't understand the cause of things, they don't exist. That's clearly...
you leave it alone and you don't make guesses.
Isn't it? No, you don't. It does not suddenly make reality disappear in front of your eyes because you don't understand it.
Look, just concede you don't have the force to hold the atmosphere onto the Earth. Very simple.
Concede that there is a real pressure gradient in the atmosphere, that it has been measured with real-world instruments that actually work and are done and is repeatable by almost anybody who's prepared to do it. You can't deny the activities of people.
Yes, there may be a temperature gradient. Not arguing that.
No, there is a pressure gradient.
We know where the temperature comes from.
We know specifically it is a pressure gradient. We understand.
Where does the pressure come from? Don't you understand what I'm asking?
Your circular argument. You know where the pressure comes from.
Yeah, gravity. Where's your experiment for gravity?
Why is an experiment required to confirm an observation? The observation,
it's gravity.
It's self-confirming. These observations don't suddenly disappear because you don't understand.
The only thing you can experiment with is with a container. and gas, not gravity.
It's self-evident, Chemo.
Self-evident. Repeatably self-evident. It's reality.
Well, then let's see a balloon go below sea level. And
Why are you afraid of gravity, Chemo?
no one's afraid of something that doesn't exist.
You're scared, Chemo. Why are you
Look,
scared?
no ghouls and ghosts are going to get us.
You're saying there are ghouls and ghosts. Why can't you stick to what people actually say? Why do you have to make stuff up?
You're making up gravity without an
I'm
experiment.
not making it up. It's measurable. It's not created.
Well, then let's have a look at your experiment.
I didn't do this
Who's done it?
because I'm not a scientist. I'm just, like I say, I'm just an ordinary
Well,
Joe.
go,
So
you don't have to do
not
it.
about-
Give us a look. Who's done
it's
it?
not about me, is it? It's not
Okay,
about
fine,
me.
fine. Who's done it? Give us a look.
Especially is the real thing is you need to prove it to yourself. So it's no good you
I'm asking
endlessly
who has
asking
done this
other
experiment.
people. It's no good you endlessly asking for the evidence because you are not the sort of person who's prepared to accept it.
I'm asking who has done the experiment you spoke
Yes,
of.
I understand what you're asking. I understand your viewpoint. Perfect. It's fine. It's fine. It's not about you, right? But you do not need to try and export your delusion to
No,
other
what we
people.
need is an experiment to
And
back up what you're
see-
saying.
You're
Otherwise,
not a
it's just a
licensed
religion.
exporter, Chemo.
So you admit that you have a religion that doesn't require experiments repeatable.
You're
no way.
required to keep your delusion to yourself.
Well, then
Order
let's have a look.
16.
Let's prove I'm delusional by providing Cavendish in a vacuum.
It's self-evident, Chemo.
The atmospheric gradient is self-evident, can be repeated and done
Well,
by
that
any.
doesn't prove
It doesn't
anything. It's
need an
self-evident. The
experiment.
ice wall is self-evident.
It
How
now.
about that?
That's funny.
The containment is self-evident because you can't have gas
Wait,
pressure
hang on.
without a container. It's
Presupposition,
self-evident.
you reported to Nathan.
It's self-evident. It's obvious you need a container. Yes?
Well, half
Why
of
is-
it is containment.
But why is the wall melting then, Chemo?
The walls, that's the CERN.
So the wall's melting then?
The ice,
Yeah.
the sun regulates it. Make sure it doesn't get
What do you mean
too,
regulates it?
Well, if you
The hell are you
remove the
talking
sun, all
about?
the air would freeze with one solid ice block everywhere.
What? What?
If you
How do you
remove
know
the
that?
sun, everything would freeze over.
Why?
No sun to melt it.
But why are you removing the sun?
Why are you removing
My
the
question
sun?
is, what are you doing about the melting ice wall?
What can we do?
But you say there's a wall that's going to contain the water. What happens when that wall melts?
Oh, it won't continue. I mean, it will regenerate.
You sure about that?
Oh, yeah, it's been doing it for thousands of years.
How do you know that?
Yeah, how the fuck do you know that?
Today's ice wall is still there.
You don't even know that. That's more presupposition on
Oh,
your
we've got
part.
clips and bits of the ice wall. Not a big deal. We know what it looks
I
like.
thought you can't go there.
Only certain area group.
Did you take those pictures?
Not me.
Are you in that military?
No, I'm not.
Have
Then-
you ever fucked a penguin?
I heard you.
More lies.
So you're saying you know these things that only certain people know, but you're not one of those certain people. Okay.
No, because you guys don't do research. You won't know any of this stuff. The mainstream nonsense.
The research that you have just, in your circular delusion, proved that you haven't done either.
I've researched these, and
But you just said you didn't because you can't.
well, you can't go to
Hold
the
on.
ice wall yet.
Can I
It's not proven.
Can I just mention something that Chemo said? The fact that the only people that were allowed to go there were like the government, the military, and all the leaders, and yet he's citing them for his research papers. So
I know. He's got such a feeble grip on reality.
how does that work? Like he's actually then giving the information that they're providing out and saying
Andrea,
that
the
it's
whole
true.
argument is a
He
mess.
believes that the government then.
I don't think you understand the
Oh,
whole.
he's a believer.
Andrea, the whole situation is a mess. There's just no serious discussion on the table ever since the Black Swan has annihilated geometry. So what's happening now as a result of that is, is what we're seeing right now, which is what we're seeing, right now. Because the globe earthers have given up, Andrea. They don't see. I mean, just listen to Bazaar here now. He's like, oh well, I'm just arguing for arguing. Can't bother showing evidence. Can't even do. Won't believe it. Blah blah blah. So that's where we are today, Andrea, in terms of flat Earth, globe Earth. Guys.
Look, I'm here to answer any questions you like. I'm quite happy in what I know and what I have done. And I'm quite happy to share my experiences with people like yourself who haven't done any of these things and have difficulty understanding and interpreting reality, possibly because you've been confused by religious things that you may have been presented in your past. So, I'm here for you, Chemo. Anytime that you need to have anything explained, I'm here for a bit of a chat. But I really don't see, until you've done something like that, it's a bit off of you to sit here and profess to know things.
Well, like I said,
of illusion.
Yeah, like I said, you guys don't know what to do since the Black Swan has taken hold of the argument, because even down to the eclipse, people's like, explain the eclipse. Like, Black Swan, what do you mean? Well, you've got to have the sun go below the geometric horizon. Oh, you know what you're talking about. It does. Okay, where is that? What's the distance from the observer? Oh, you don't understand. You know what's going on. Well, what are you talking about? What do you explain the eclipse? But that's, like I say, the Black Swan has annihilated just about every single argument when it comes to globe evidence, because you don't have that geometry. Without geometry, we're just blowing in the wind.
Kima, do not
Oh, here he is.
Do not misrepresent what I asked you to try and get some type of ground back after being decimated point after point. I asked you, and I'll do it again, and watch you scramble back to some other evasion technique. What causes the shadow on the moon during a lunar eclipse? That was the question.
See what I mean?
Didn't even bring up Black Swan. You ran to Black Swan and geometric horizons and sunsets and moon bows and everything but answering what causes the shadow.
Shadow, you keep saying shadow.
Don't get it twisted. And if you say my name, you're going to invoke a response.
But I'm saying, you're saying shadow. Why do you think it's a shadow? Exactly. Black Swan destroys any ideas of geometry. This is
the shadow, Chemo.
What? I mean, again, why do you think it's a shadow?
But what is it then, Spurs?
Why do you think it's a shadow?
If not a shadow,
why do you think it's a shadow?
Look at the chat. That's not a shadow. That's what you're saying.
Why do you think it's a shadow? Anyway, I'm gonna eat back in 2 minutes.
What is it then? If it's not a shadow, that's right. Mute yourself.
You got badly wrecked.
Spiraling,
point
guys,
after point
spiraling.
after point. I even gave you gravity. Wrecked again. Decimation. Should put an L in your name.
Where's that little bitch? Where's he fucked off to? He wouldn't even answer any of my fucking points. Little cunt.
I don't know.
Hang on. How'd he get a curved shadow on a flat surface there, bro?
And what is a shadow anyway? What are words? What is talking?
Beep, bop, boop.
Beep,
No,
bop,
the
boop.
line is what are words for when no one listens anymore.
Well, I'm going to get cancelled now.
They don't hear me.
Where are the shadows in the Black Swan picture?
Right there. Swan Lager.
Any of our Canadian friends ready for the eclipse tomorrow?
How bizarre is that? That we had an eclipse a couple of weeks ago, and you guys are having one now. That's weird.
No big deal.
I wasn't talking to you.
It's almost as if they come in pairs, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not that big of
I wasn't even talking to you, Chemo. Shut the fuck up.
we know
But
the
not
moon.
like that.
Moon
Like,
lights.
some kind of laws, mightn't it?
Maybe some form of, three body law.
Yeah, if we were to observe the calendar difference between them, we could have a prediction model, couldn't you?
Oh, you mean like the one we've got?
Do we? How? Blimey. Well, you mean we
I
have
don't know.
laws about reality? Shocker.
I mean, like, centuries of observations.
Observations, you say? Observations,
Enough
you
of the
say?
circles working
Yes,
here. Enough
I
of the
do.
circles
I do,
working.
bizarre. Chemo, what the fuck is wrong with you today?
Enough of the circle twerking now. Let's get focused on this lunar eclipse that's happening tonight. And if so, are
No,
you going
it's
to
not
be able
tonight.
to show that the sun actually has gone down below your
It's a
feet?
solar eclipse, idiot.
Or whatever. But can we show that the sun has gone down below your feet? Or the moon?
Mere details. Mere details. Don't require the exact you don't exact the exact nature of what's going on, do you, to carry on a religious illusion?
Well, this is why the Black Swan ruins any ideas of geometry. Because again, we can't show where that physical geometric horizon that the sun actually goes down beyond. It should
You
be measurable.
dickhead, what does the horizon have to do with this eclipse?
The eclipse. No, we're talking about the lunar eclipse.
This eclipse is not about the sun going below the horizon.
All right.
You fucking irreparably stupid moron.
All right.
Get it right.
Explain a solar eclipse on a globe.
The moon goes in front of the sun and blocks out the light from it. This one they're calling a ring of fire eclipse because the moon is like at one of its farthest distances from the earth. Its angular size is small compared to its average or maximum size. It does not cover the full disk of the sun at this time. You can still see the edges of the sun out around the moon from the right places on Earth.
I know about that.
You will still see the sun. The sun is not set below the horizon for this eclipse. Do you understand this?
Yes. I thought we were speaking about the lunar eclipse. Talking about solar eclipse.
Right. I know that you're stupid. We get that. You don't have to keep explaining it to us that you're dumb. This is a solar eclipse.
Which is why we ask you intelligent people these questions.
But why are you asking people questions when you don't listen to the answers?
Well, listen, that's why we're questioning answers.
Why am I asking you questions when you don't answer them or listen to them?
I just answered your question.
You did not.
I said we answer because we question your answers.
Presupposition.
Yeah, the Earth.
Emo, you've been eviscerated,
I'm constantly losing arguments.
decimated.
Absolutely annihilate. So let's get back to the evidence of lunar eclipse. Focus on my new favourite argument. Thanks, sheeple, because this is an absolute globe killer. Anyone in their right mind is going to have to try and explain how the sun going below.
Explain how it
No
happens.
one in their right mind. Not in your crowd.
Yeah. Explain how a lunar eclipse happens in the globe model first, Chemo, so we know we're on the same page.
You've got the Earth shadow being casted by the sun onto the moon. Yeah, so they line up like three snooker balls. Yeah, bang, 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 and then the shadow, the Earth shadow is being beamed onto the moon. Yeah, happy with that?
No. Not
Quiet
happy with
there,
that at all.
Davros. People, is that about
It's
right?
cast.
Is it
It's
about right?
cast onto the moon. A shadow is cast.
Yeah, shadow's cast
Yeah.
onto the moon. Is that about right? Yeah.
Do I need to mark my accent?
Exactly, that is right. Yeah, so you've got the sun, the Earth,
Right.
and then the moon. That's all I was talking about, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Now,
Now-
how does it happen in your reality?
Moon has its own light.
And how does it get dark?
How does it get the light?
In a spherical nature over the
lights
course
can
of 5
dim.
hours.
Lights can dim. We know that. Yeah.
But why does it dim with this as if it's being cast in a spherical shadow?
Don't invoke shadows or the Earth. Or
Well, the
sun.
shape of it, Chemo.
Matters
The
not.
shape
Yeah.
of it.
Matters not.
Yeah, the dimming varies by where you are on Earth. Not
Well,
everybody sees the same dimming, Chemo.
Just get it out of your mind that the sun has gone down beyond
think-
the horizon. Yeah?
It's not in our minds. That's not what we're talking about. Again,
I'm talking about
I think you're
solar
the one
eclipse,
dim.
dude. I'm talking about
Chemo,
lunar.
you are the
Lunar.
one who is dimming.
Lunar
You're dimming
eclipse,
yourself.
not solar.
You're dimming all those who listen to you.
I'm not talking about the
You
solar.
are the antithesis
I'm
of
talking
light,
about the
Chemo.
lunar.
You're
lunar
absolutely
eclipse.
antithetical to your own stated position.
Try and stay on topic and stop derailing now. We're destroying the
I am
globe
on
model.
topic.
We're destroying the globe model with the lunar eclipse that Sheeple so gladly provided for us to think about, consider,
You
and
can't
explain
do
that the
that.
sun does not go below the physical geometric horizon because there is no physical geometric horizon. You've never measured
You
the
stubborn
physical
fucking
geometric horizon,
retard.
remember? No,
I
Sheeple.
don't.
Actually, we keep showing you the evidence that it has been measured, and you keep ignoring it. So it's kind of pointless. Keep putting it in front of you.
How is one person so proud of their own stupidity? I don't get it.
Well, again, the Black Swan has shown us that because there's no geometry, you cannot measure the drop of the Earth. So therefore, the sun
There are
does
other
not
people
go
that are proud of his
below
stupidity.
the horizon at any point.
Chemo, what do you mean drop?
Why did Jeremy cuck to Witsit?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Veach made Jeremy leave.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
they were
Jeremy
talking,
turning tail
and
and
then
running
Veach wouldn't be
because
quiet.
Witsit got on him about the solar point speed. So Jeremy abandoned that, even though he knows better than what Witsit was saying. He complied with Witsit's wishes and followed orders.
In a matter of minutes. That's all it took.
Well,
was
I
so
wasn't
weird.
there, but I'm sure. Like,
Jeremy's a fuck-witted pussy cunt. You realize that, don't you, Chemo?
No. Jeremy refuses to
Yes,
talk.
absolutely.
He's got no balls, man. He's got no balls.
I mean, again,
He's
I
a
wanna know
eunuch,
Jeremy's prestige
an absolute
should be allowed to
eunuch.
finish his points at all times. Not like how you treat me with disrespect and you're rude and you're volatile and you just overtalk everyone.
Chemo.
Jeremy likes,
You might say
Don't be a
that.
hypocrite.
However,
likes,
you get more respect than you deserve,
someone
Chemo.
to,
Much more respect than you
likes to have
deserve.
people listen to what he has to say.
Not a good line to go down, Kimo, by the way, just FYI.
So anyway, Jeremy's gone because Veach would not let him finish wouldn't let him talk. Was constant. I mean, we're constantly over talking him. And then even when Jeremy was like, "Okay, can you let me speak now?" He was like, "No, I'm not gonna let you speak."
That's not the point, Spurs. We weren't talking about that. You're on the wrong tangent, mate.
Why are you
You're
spiraling?
You're off on a
dude?
tangent.
I thought you said
Yeah.
Jeremy. What's it?
Well,
You
you
don't
obviously
even know what
didn't.
was said.
No, he didn't.
Jeremy
Jeremy's not
Whitsitt and all
here,
that
is
stuff.
he? Not here.
Exactly.
Exactly. Chemo,
Yes.
you realise you're basically falling in your own hole right now.
I'm always on the loose. It looks like, but that's how it seems now. But obviously, when these things come out, you guys will see. Well, what happens. Then.
It doesn't seem
Chemo,
like that, Spurs.
You've been saying
Don't be
that
so
for
hard on
years.
yourself. It is like that.
Well,
Gay
yeah.
sex has been legal in the UK since the 1970s, so you can come out whenever you want.
But we're just regular people. Was trying to figure out what the lie
Yeah,
is.
there's nothing.
Why they've
Yeah,
lied
you're
to
not
us.
regular. You're not regular. You need much more fibre.
Well, what we do is ask simple questions to experts
Mhm.
like yourself. Knows much more about the science, maths, and the measurements, and we just look for you guys to educate us on where we live and just prove.
Mate, I know that what I don't know doesn't give me the right to say what people do know is bullshit.
Look, all we can do is ask. You guys are the ones that get a little bit frustrated because you can't answer simple questions.
But Chemo, here's the thing:
Mhm.
if you ask a question and you're given an answer to the question,
Doesn't mean
you're
it's
supposed to
true.
contemplate the. Hang on, you're supposed to contemplate the answer, then get clarification on it. All you do is dismiss it.
No. We said to Larry, where does gravity come from? What is this gravity? Oh, wow, we just, nothing. No answers, nothing. Just that's it.
And then I asked you about your dome and got no answers.
I told you
nothing.
the Bible.
Bullshit. No. No, I tried to go down that route and you fucking avoided it.
Want to go in the religious route?
No.
All right, let's
We're
get back
talking
to the
about
shape of the earth. then.
your
Look,
dome, not the religion's dome, your dome and your ice wall. Because that ain't in the fucking Bible.
yeah, it talks about, I'll have to look for it, some kind of boundary around.
What? They didn't even know Antarctica existed.
Oh, they've always known. God, always known what
They didn't even know Australia existed.
They've always known.
No, they didn't.
There's nothing new under the sun, Davros.
See, this is where revisionist history is their other fallback.
Well, that's an interesting statement because that comes from a particular part of the Bible. And really, that's not talking about there is nothing new under the sun as the literal dumb interpretation. What it's saying in that statement, if you read it in context, is all things have their root in God. So nothing is new to God, not
Yeah,
to us.
I knew that expression. There's nothing new. It's all been said before, Drew.
No. That's from God's perspective, not from us. From
Yeah,
ours,
that's
from
all been
ours, we
said
have new
before.
experience. And again, we can go to Bible quotes talking about new experiences.
Can you take
which will then
Davros into the
contradict your
religious
point of
room
view.
then, Truss?
Well, you brought it up, mate, not me.
No, I'm asking about
You were the one
measurements
derailing.
and gravity and space.
No, you weren't. You
and
were
the
talking about
lunar
the Bible and
eclipse.
your dome.
I want to focus on
Yeah, two
annihilating.
things. Chemo, you brought it up. And
sheeple and
secondly,
the
if you
lunar
did know
eclipse.
that, why did you use it as though you did not?
Yeah, because he asked me, how do you know
I'll
about the
go down-
dome? And I said,
sorry.
that's in the Bible. That's it. No more, no
And
less.
then the ice wall, and then you talked about the boundary, and then you said, and there's nothing new under the sun. All had biblical
I didn't
context.
say that was in the
Would you
Bible.
like to go down to the religion room with me, Chemo, and discuss your religious view?
No.
People knew
Let's
about
talk
Australia
the shape of
and
the earth,
Antarctica
and how
always
there's no evidence
because
for the shape of the earth.
of your use of that Bible verse. That doesn't make sense, Chemo. And why are you
Can you
invoking
take,
the Bible
Druss
here,
and
not in the
Davros
Bible?
down to the
Take it to
religious
the
room?
Bible room, Chemo.
Take Davros and Druss into religious.
You're the one
You
bringing up the
take
religion,
yourself
Chemo.
there.
I offered you to come with us if you want to talk about religion.
No, I'm going to talk about the globe lie. And there is no evidence for your spinning.
But that's a religious
clubbing-
doctrine, that.
But you're
Flying
lying
ball.
about that, Chemo. There is evidence for it.
What's the evidence?
And And we've shown you that. Again, I'm going to go back. I've posted it to you many times. The arc of the parallel across North America that's been measured.
Measured it.
I've given you that information. In fact, I even posted you like 25 names of the people who did the measurements physically, and you ignored it again. And I posted
That they were lying white devils.
Timestamp.
Yeah, where's the video?
Yeah,
Hang on,
so
how do you
measurement.
timestamp a spreadsheet?
Oh, it's all
Why
right.
on earth
It's going
would
to
you
be.
believe something that's written down on some paper?
Because that's how you record shit, you twat.
No, record it with a camera. Now let's have a look.
How do you record numbers?
You're not recording numbers. You're recording the.
Well, how do you make a measurement if you don't have numbers?
Just measure. Measure the
So let's
earth
look at
and
the
record
logical
the measuring
implication
the
of that
earth.
statement, Chemo, rather than being sort of insulting and stuff. So
Right,
the
you said
logical
you got
implication
evidence.
is you're saying. Sorry, I want to finish my point. Thank you. So the implication of what you're saying is before the advent of video, we have no evidence for anything. Is that what you're saying?
No.
So what are you then? Why do you need the video? What's wrong with the document describing what was done?
Because we've been lied to about the shape of the earth.
Why isn't the Bible on video? Why didn't they make it on video?
The Bible?
Yeah, it's invalid because it's
There are
not
some
on.
videos
It's
on the
not
Bible.
video.
Where's
No.
Jesus on
People have
video?
since made videos.
Yeah.
But the Bible itself, it's not on video. It's invalid, Chemo.
No, that's faith. How many times should you be told this?
Chemo, is there any videos of Jesus' resurrection?
I think there was, but they deleted.
What? They didn't even have electricity. What the fuck?
That's part of the lie.
What?
They had it, but they lost the footage.
You see, this is where he turns to complete clown act, which completely disintegrates any possible argument he could possibly pose about reality.
Well, we're in circus hour, Harry. Try to understand.
He
where
never
the-
had one.
Curved is involved. Davros is involved. Druss is involved. We're not going to get anything more than circus entertainment.
Oh, what? Because
you're
you're
the
just lying
clown
about
in
your
this.
position.
They've all got their red noses on. I've got my red shoes on. We're all ready to. Okay, Curved. Tell us what we haven't
Say
got.
say
Druss.
circle jerk, Chemo. Can you say circle jerk?
Hey, Druss, you got evidence for the globe? Yeah, of course we have. Yeah, we got measurements.
Hey, Nathan Oakley, I didn't know you were in here.
Let's try be serious. Let's try again. Where is the physical, practical demonstrations?
And
of
you've been
Earth?
given
You
that
can't say,
information
"Let's
at
be
least a dozen times. Chemo.
You can't say, let's be serious, and then ask a question like that. Come on,
There you
get
go.
serious.
See? Well, when we know
So,
when the
Kilo-
circus
You're not
is
being
held,
serious, mate. Come on, be serious.
When we've got
You want to be serious?
Curve,
You start.
Druss, Davros, the circus is in town.
You want to be serious? You start. Go. You be serious.
No, the circus was not listening.
Oh, he's gone back to his childish
We've
act.
got Curve, Davros,
You want to be serious?
and No, not
You don't want
once.
it to be a circus?
Not
You want
what-
it to be serious?
No,
Be
we've got-
serious.
No, we've got the circus in town. How can you turn out the circus?
But you don't want the circus, right? You want it to be serious, so be serious. Go ahead.
You look like a circus was.
Go ahead, be serious.
You look like a circus.
Not when you're the ringleader.
Okay, so you lead it then.
Go
Shall we
ahead,
go
be
Kilo?
serious.
Okay, Chemo. In a serious question.
I didn't think so.
In a
Well,
serious
you're not leading the
question-
circus very well.
In a serious question, when the sun is seen dipping below the horizon as the Earth rotates, hold on, and we have just a half of the sun is visible, how high must it be on the flat Earth to only see half of the disk of the sun obscured by the horizon? How is that possible? We need some real specifics here.
Okay, so we know the sun hasn't dipped or drops down. You're looking at an optical illusion, looking at objects just like Ranty's Mountain. Things drop in the distance at the horizon, and
But
with atmospheric lensing.
Okay, how can
magnification.
it drop? How can it drop and get cut in half?
Replicate this with an experiment. Atmospheric lensing.
Then how is it that when in New York and we're seeing the sunset, and Hawaii is seeing the sun rise, and in Brisbane, in summer they see the sun rise in the southeast? How can it rise in the southeast in Brisbane in austral summer?
Well, you're asking
You
how.
live there.
How,
You tell me.
How. The only way you're going to know these things is with an experiment. Okay? Not just by guessing.
No, okay.
You would
why
hypothesize your predicted cause, okay, and then you would do an experiment. So again, that's why you would never know anything. Constantly best guess. So here's a video that explains your question.
Then here's an experiment. Here's an experiment
here that answers your question. How is the sun in half? And this is how the sun appears to be dropping from the sky, going lower and lower, and appearing to be in half, as you put. That is how.
How high is the sun? How high is the sun actually?
We don't have the numbers. We only have the.
Larry, very, very quick point I just want to make. So, Kimo, I've just tagged you twice in the chat. Can you confirm that I've tagged you twice in the chat? You can see my posts?
Well, I haven't seen it there. Post it again. What is it?
No, it's literally just above your Flat Earth Horizon video. So I don't know how you missed it because, I tagged you from before. Those are basically screenshots from the chat on Discord where I've posted the exact information that you asked for that you said you've never seen. I've done this at least 7 or 8 times. No, you asked for a list of names of who did it. So that's a list of names of who did it.
Yeah, well,
And I've tagged you to the source of the actual data itself of where these people put their information. So you now have evidence that we have made measurements.
I'm not chasing up made up names. Show the people making the measurement.
No, Kimo, sorry, we've got a document describing it, and the fact that you just want to hand clap and say that the only valid evidence, which you said it wasn't before, I haven't finished my point.
I'm saying to you,
which you said what? I haven't finished my point, Kimo.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're giving misinformation.
Zip it! No, Kimo, I haven't finished my point. Thank you.
I've told you to be
Kimo, still haven't finished my point. You're over talking me. Stop it.
I'm nearly finished.
Please.
So you're gonna have to
I haven't finished, Kimo. Do you understand? I haven't finished my point, and you're interrupting me. Can you stop this?
Somebody with the names, and then we can verify it.
Fine. I'm going to put you back on. I'm going to turn you down so I can get my point out because you're not letting me talk.
No, you can finish now. Oh, that wasn't me. Yeah. All I was saying was you've just posted a bunch of names, okay, that you could have written down yourself. It wasn't me. You could have written down yourself, and knowing the Globers that lie to us just to back up their narrative, more than likely that you just did it yourself. So unless you can provide the timestamp of the making those measurements, you're just backing up the Globe lie. I didn't mute, by the way.
Can I speak now, Kimo, without you muting me?
That wasn't me.
That was you. Don't lie.
I didn't mute.
Yeah, so the point I was trying to make is that's from a document. We've got provenance for that document. We can go and look at the original copies and the various editions that have been published. Yeah, it's all there. So the fact that it's not something I've just wrote down, the fact that you dare to accuse other people of lying when you are caught out on a fucking daily basis lying your ass off is hypocritical to the extreme, Kimo. You are a known, defined, proven a liar.
Oh no,
So
there's no
stop
need to lie
that.
about the shape of the earth. All we do is ask simple questions.
I can't hear a word you're saying because I've got you turned right down, so you don't address me because you fucked me off now.
Oh no, you hear me? See flashing. Gets it so upset. attitude. Any question you're asking, yes, no one should play with that. Now, all I was saying was, I know he's not here, but what I was saying is, because we know the globe is a lie, we already know this. When somebody presents name, they've written down themselves, spent all night writing them, putting them on paper, ending. That's how far the globe earthers will go to deceive us flat earthers. As far as just making up. And that's why we're on to you guys. I mean, I see what I think of when I see you ranting. I think of Rumpelstiltskin. You know, when he's angry. But through doors. I see globe earthers, lots of Rumpelstiltskin. Angry, can't really do anything about their position, can't defend their helpless. You're like newborn. Okay. Look, you've all seen chicks. Yeah, when they are desperate. So it's like when you ask us for a model. So we don't have a model. And you're like newborns in the world now. No understanding of what's happening around you. So, that's why we're seeing the counts, the spirals from Russ. I mean, he's a trier, is desperate to outsmart one of the. It's awfully difficult, think a little bit more, a little bit deeper, critically a little bit further than your average glober. We have common sense as well, because you guys have indoctrinated. Your common sense has been eradicated.
Kimo, can I just stop you there?
Oh.
You just said you have common sense. And yet before you said that the sun goes further away, but you have no measurement. Dome, you have no measurement. Lunar eclipse is not a shadow. Somehow the moon is its own light. This is not common sense. This is not common anything. You are unique, but in the special kind of odd way. You're not an enigma. You're a detriment to yourself. Listening to you spew your crap is good for content. But you provide nothing while talking about the strong position that you hold. And when questioned on that position, you've been beaten back to back today. And you even evaded, hoping that I wouldn't come back and ask you to clarify.
Look.
And if you're trying to remove the model, it's very logical, common sense even, that someone would ask for an idea of what it might look like if it's not what we think it looks like. You can't just make claims, it's this, it's that.
Look, seriously, I don't take pleasure in any of this. Okay? But you guys have to realise that because of, I mean, the Black Swan has ruined any serious argument. I mean, look at Ranty. Ranty came along. Think about this, guys, right? Ranty came along, okay? Was like, hey everyone, I'm a flat earther, I'm a ball earther now. And look what made me a ball earther. Right? I've got this this mountain drop. Nothing new. We've seen it all before. So it took a couple of weeks for everyone to say, well, yeah, you're showing a Black Swan. It's over. We haven't seen ranting, any big debates. We haven't seen any discussion on this image. Pretty much done and dusted. This is how I mean, I don't know what's going to take for you guys to get this right.
Chemo,
Whether it's the lunar eclipse, or whether it's Ranty's image, or whether it's whoever's image, the Black Swan will take care of those arguments.
Oh really? So when Anthony Riley tried to promote the Black Swan and Blue shoved it up his ass, and then Anthony Riley came back and Blue took it out and shoved it back up his ass again, none of you had any reply. None of you. QE, Nathan Oakley, nothing. All you could do was attack Blue's character when you and all the likes of you are the deceptive ones and the deceivers.
Well, like
so
I said,
you don't lie now again and say that nobody answered you. There were multiple videos, unanswered videos, I might add, from the Globe side that you run away from. QE, don't talk of QE or anybody like that, because they don't even come here to debate. They hide away where their mute button is. Like you here because you've got a mute button.
Well, I didn't
so
mute
please
anyone
shut
today.
up.
I didn't mute anyone today. What are you talking about? I didn't mute Just today.
I didn't say you did. I said you're safe with your mute button.
Safe. If I do something out of line, then obviously I can get my mods removed.
No. You mute people when it gets too much for you.
Oh, no. We have to keep
We've all witnessed it.
Order. There's a time for the circus. There's, like, for example, if a flatty comes in now, then all of this has to be put to one side, right?
He even exaggerates just so he can mute them.
Exactly, Scott.
No. Who gets muted in here? Name
me.
5 people, 10 people, 10 people.
I nearly reckon half of the people that are in here now have all been muted by you. Trust more than anyone.
Multiple times.
No, not true. Not just for arguing with me.
Oh, there you go. Me. See, there's your power. These are your power right there. You've muted
me for arguing with you.
Yep, you've muted.
That's not true.
You muted me. You've muted Druss. You've muted Rizzler. You've muted Mippet. You've muted who else? How many was that?
Numerous.
Me? He's muted me.
No. I don't mean like that.
You muted Was. Yep, you muted Was.
I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. Was has muted me. Okay?
Oh, you've muted me more.
See what I mean? I don't mean like that. We're just talking about when we're having a discussion.
You want to talk about a circus, Chemo. You're the guy who stands on the little drum.
When I argue, I'll be like, right, be quiet, mute. Now let me make my point. Is that what happens when I talk with you?
No, it's when you get.
Don't talk nonsense.
No. Let me explain. When you get beaten and come back, and that person's there again, that's when you overmute them, because you don't want to admit that you lost the argument. So what you do is you throw a little tantrum and put your mute button on every time they speak mid-sentence. Mute them, or you mute them and they can't speak, and then you talk like, "See, no answers." You've done it to me. You've done it to Druss.
No, but again, I don't use the mute button like as right. Mute, be quiet, let me speak.
It's
you don't. That's not what I. What I just explained.
I only mute if there's an order needed.
I'm not listening, Chemo. I'm setting the story straight because you're lying to hide your own actions, and I don't give a fuck.
I'm saying yes, I mute, but it's
you
not
actually
a mute.
muted 2 people yesterday for having a conversation. You muted Chris just to get in to the conversation and derail it to some other topic.
No. Again, what Chris was doing was trying to shut down the conversation.
No. Him and who I can't think who it was having a nice conversation, a polite one, and you muted him so you can speak.
Do you have any morals, Chemo?
Anyway, none of you moan because you get muted, like in a conversation.
Not moaning, like Chemo.
None of you. Because
you moan in the conversation.
More by the Globe mods than I ever do. Mute yous. You're all being muted by Globe mods constantly.
Chemo,
You're an
Chemo.
antagonist,
And
Chemo.
I'm the one that
Chemo,
have
you-
to unmute the ball earthers half the
Hang
time.
on, Chemo, I'd like to refute that claim. The percentage of mutes of me, you're the winner over CB.
What, once, twice?
By about 10%.
Yeah, so that's once or twice I've muted.
Once or twice, I think the last count was 52 times.
Right. So, Chemo, all that truth now on the table, that's fine. You can do that because we know how weak your argument is. I mean, look how many people have been banned just for answering questions in 24/7 or saying hello, and they were a known glober. Weak source, okay? So, can you name for us? Can you name for us the top 5 things that you feel Flat Earth can state, measure, or produce some type of data that we can verify and say, yep, this is only possible on a flat Earth? Your top 5, go. Because you know you're the new school, so you should have all the old books and everything. You should have it all, right? You've got the facts, the figures. Just 5 from your many.
No, it's not a quiz, or it's not it doesn't work like in that fashion, right? What happens is look at what you were told, try to validate, verify what you were told, and then you go by what you can observe and what you can measure. Now, no curvature has ever been measured practically.
Well, that's a lie.
By
That's a
anybody.
lie.
Chemo,
That's a
can I
flat
interrupt
out
for a second?
lie.
If the same question was posed to me as a Glober, I instantly thought of about 7 different things that can all be tested and verified. Everything from the weather patterns as seen on the Himawari satellite to maps to mass attracting mass. Why can't you name one for Flat Earth?
Again, there's no model for flat Earth. That's why I always think that what is what you're trying to do is say, help us build a model. Tell us how this works. Tell us how that works. The idea is we were all told we're on a ball. Nobody can prove that ball. So therefore, what are you on? We don't know what the shape is. We observe a flat horizon, no curvature. So make your decision. I'm not going to build a model for you. So there's no point. How does this explain
Then
this
you've
on a flat Earth?
lost.
That's
But
how you
Chemo, then
see
you've
it.
lost.
That's how
No,
you
no,
see
no,
it.
no. Just hear me out, right? We have explanations. We have a predictable model. You have got nothing to refute it with.
Yeah, you have no model. The geometry's broken.
No. We do have a model that is able to predict things, such as weather, right?
Where's your
Okay,
globe
we're able to
model?
measure. Hang on. We're able to measure rainfall, the pressure, the wind speed. All of that shit's measurable, right? But we can predict that shit too using the model that we have, right? Where's
Models are
yours?
reification. Your model doesn't show the curvature.
Models are not reifications. They're tangible.
Curvature is not tangible.
I'm not talking about curvature.
There is no curvature.
I am not talking about that.
So we agree,
Stay on point.
do we agree there's no curvature?
Stay
No,
on
stay
point.
He's trying to derail.
Well, that's the model. That the model says your Earth curve.
Where's yours then to refute ours?
If you what? You don't even have a model in the first place. Where's your model?
But you just said we have one.
Oh, you don't have one.
You just said we have a model that presupposes curvature.
Well,
Yeah,
Chemo, if we
globe
don't have a
model.
model, what are the maps that we have?
What are the what?
What are the maps? The accurate nautical shipping maps that are used every day. Where do those come from?
I don't know.
Give you a hint. Starts with an M.
Look,
M-O.
I'm not claiming to know anything. Okay?
M-O-D.
I'm here to learn about the globe that doesn't exist. Or does it? It does. We need a curving surface. We need water
Can't-
curve around
Kimo,
the
you-
exterior
Kimo,
of
you
the
can't
object.
go down this route. You've
If we have
just said there's
science
no
or
model,
measurements-
then we have a model, and now you're saying we have no model again.
Well, your
You're
model says the
flip-flopping.
Earth is curving, but in reality,
You're flip-flopping.
the Earth does not curve. So which is it?
So hang on.
Curving
So we have a
but
hang
in
on.
reality, no curvature.
Hang on. Let me get this straight. So we have a model that says we have curvature, right?
The model says the Earth is curved.
Right. So where's your model saying that it doesn't?
Right, we have real-world measurements that show no.
No.
curvature.
Oh,
We
hold
have a
on.
model showing curvature. Where's your model showing that it doesn't?
Don't have a
What-
model.
What are your
Right.
measurements?
Thank you.
Kimo?
No, they don't have a model. They don't have any measurements because they
I
don't have
know.
the model to put them onto.
That's right.
I
You
know.
have a model. We don't. We have real-world measurements that show no curvature.
Okay,
And
Kimo,
to
what
that-
are your measurements? What are the measurements?
Yeah, we call bullshit on that because you just don't like my measurements, but you say you have measurements, yet you don't present them. You just show just the black swan photo. That's it.
Yeah, what we can see, measured-wise, that for 10 miles there is no curvature between the observer and horizon.
And when
10
I
miles?
measure it,
Just-
and when I
just-
measure
just
the
10
fact
miles?
that, and when I measure the plumb bobs do not hang parallel, for some reason you just don't like that.
The reason why that's not liked is to include gravity.
Aha. So there's a piece of reality you just simply discard because there's plenty of evidence for gravity, but you don't like it. And so it's not about whether or not there's proof or evidence. It's just whether or not you want to acquiesce to proof, evidence,
What evidence
and
is
reality.
there for gravity?
The hanging of a plumb bob?
Not evidence of gravity.
The orbit of the moon?
The moon is
Hang on.
the moon orbiting is a presupposition.
No, it's an observation.
Have you
It's
seen
an
the moon
observation
orbit?
because at the South Pole, the moon is visible for 2 continuous weeks. It's hilarious.
Larry, did you see any of this?
Yes.
From which standpoint? From the Earth?
Well, no, from the ground. And you know what? Somebody videoed it, and I got to see the video. And that's what you insist on. You can't just write it down in a diary. You have to video it. And it's been videoed and diaried. So I'm good.
Go on then, give us a look.
No, Larry, don't give him your special knowledge.
My knowledge is not special. Don't put me on that pedestal. My knowledge is not special.
Oh no, I
It's just
didn't mean as in authoritarian special. I meant the fact that you actually have tangible evidence.
I
We all
tried to
know
give
he's
ta-
just gonna
I
hand
gave
wave it.
tangible evidence just yesterday at going through the measurements. And they go, "Oh, those aren't measurements. Oh, you're not doing measurements correctly." So if
What?
my measurements aren't measurements, then again, they are just disliking a piece of reality. They say, "Oh, you know what? We're going to play chess, but we don't want you to have all the pieces. We don't like it when you have a knight and a rook. We're
Why
going to
don't
take
you
those away."
presuppose
And
a flat Earth and just make calculations for it?
all you got to do is explain why there is a South Pole.
No. When you made those measurements, why not presuppose a flat Earth?
Okay, I did. And then the elevation of the distant point continually declined with every mile further away I got.
Explain
Oh,
that on a
looks
flat.
like-
What's the calculation for that on a flat Earth?
On a flat Earth? Yeah, it was way greater decline in elevation than the right angle trigonometry.
Yeah.
It
So
was-
what's the model then? Model this on what you saw on a flat Earth.
I didn't see it on a flat Earth, and in my modeling, I applied flat Earth geometry, Bebb's right line geometry, and I got a decline in the elevation as measured. Okay? And then I asked calculus And calculus said, oh yeah, it's dropping away at 6 3/4 inches per square of the miles. Well, there you go. Just like my 100-year-old textbook.
No. Presuppose
Yeah.
the ball Earth, right?
No. Predetermined. You see, we go in first principles. First, we determine the overall shape grossly, and then we go on to dimension. And the overall shape, South Pole exists, sunrise, sunset, tides, and eclipses. Okay, we're done with shape. We're done with shape. And even 250 years ago, they said, you know what? It's not really perfectly round, and maybe not. So they went out and they further measured it and said, damn, it's not perfectly round. It's slightly oblate. So if the Academy of Sciences, Paris, France, 250 years ago could come up with the slight oblateness by measurement, physical measurement, they actually went out there and went to Ecuador and went to Lapland and did across France and got Mason and Dixon involved. When they actually did that, then they were proving it's not only just not round or perfect round, it's slightly oblate, because spherical was never observed or counter observed. It was always observed. It's common knowledge. And for you just to say it's not visibly curved is another piece of reality you just don't like. The sun is setting. We can see it get cut in half by the horizon. And you say, oh, the horizon doesn't exist. Oh, it's a lensing thing. Okay, well then explain how it rises in the southeast in Australia. You say, oh, but you need an experiment. And here's my experiment. We'll measure the sun only in the northern hemisphere and predict the azimuth and altitude of the sun for the rest of the year in the southern hemisphere. See? That's how that works. Make the measurements in the northern hemisphere,
Larry,
and make predictions in the southern hemisphere.
We're going to have a short timeout. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes or so, and we can get into how to conduct science, because it seems to me that you're throwing the word science around, not actually understanding how to conduct science. Of course, we've got skepticals here. We've got Globus here. Any more flat earthers?
Skeptical's no good to answer the question about lunar eclipse. He'll run away.
Well, lunar eclipse has been answered. You don't have a
No, it hasn't.
physical horizon, so the sun cannot.
No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't.
The sun cannot go below.
I have to explain what the shadow was, Schema.
Again, presupposition. Just like Larry, presupposing
Not presupposition.
it's a shadow.
It's an observation.
You haven't observed it to be a shadow.
It's an observation.
Darker area, we don't know what it is.
We know it's a shadow because it lights up at the full eclipse.
Yeah, well, how can it be if the sun doesn't go below the horizon?
No, we can explain that too, but it works on the globe only.
So that's something we can get into, Larry. How to conduct science. It won't be long. But like I said,
You're a joke, mate.
Well,
You're a
you've
joke.
answered, sheeple.
You
no
just said
geometry.
before you have no claims, you have no measurements, you have no model, you have nothing. Yet you have the audacity to explain
How
and
can we
tell
talk
us
about
all
lunar
what it
eclipses
isn't.
without the geometry of the horizon, with the sun going
You say,
down below
you say
it?
there's no claims, Chemo, and then you
Remember,
say
you think the sun
we
is
know this.
People, you think the sun is going down below the horizon, yes?
I'm not even talking about the sun, idiot.
No, the sun at the beach.
Guess
Sunset.
what, Chemo? The lunar eclipse happened at 11 p.m. for me.
Listen.
That's
do you think
nighttime.
the sun is
the
going
sun
down
out at
below the
nighttime where you
know
live?
already. Can't answer it because you're afraid when you say yes.
No, is the sun out at nighttime where you live?
Does it go below?
Is it weird?
Does it go below the geometric horizon?
Yes, every
There you
day.
go. So we're going to get into that when I return. Like I say, we've got Globus here, we've got Skeptical, and if you're not sure about the black swan or the horizon,
Don't even bother. You're a
can fill you
moron.
in.
I got a picture of the sun setting on the water.